Okay, hey guys, as you guys know, every time there's a new Twilight movie coming out, I always go to the midnight premiere. And that's exactly what I did last night. No surprise there. So, as you guys probably noticed, this is not my typical background. I mean, like, you guys know, last time I filmed in front of my Taylor Lautner stuff, my New Moon poster, and my Eclipse poster and stuff, and then last time I filmed with the three movie posters, but unfortunately I don't have a Breaking Dawn poster or anything, and since this is the very last Twilight review that I'm ever going to be making, that is if they don't make a sequel, I kind of hope they do. This is my Twilight wall, you see, like, I found these things, there's all the Twilight books that I could probably ever possibly have, Jacob and Edward, and a bunch of other stuff. So this is like my Twilight shelf, and I thought this would be a great place to film. Okay, so as always, I'll tell you guys right now, if you don't want me to spoil the movie, leave right now, press the back button, or click on a related thing somewhere around this area, I would assume. I absolutely have to spoil the movie in order to give a detailed review. That's what I'm known for. So one thing that's going to be a little bit different about this review, guys, is that halfway through while watching the movie, I realized that I only read all the Twilight books at least twice, but Breaking Dawn, that part, I only read it once. I'm going to be probably talking more about the movie than its relation to the book. I will talk about the book. I definitely will. Just not in the much detailed sense as I probably should, or that I usually would. So here we go. This is my review on the Twilight Saga Breaking Dawn Part 2.
You never harm me, and not all of these. Only one I fear is number 3.
As always, we're gonna start with the negative stuff. First of all, before we get into the whole, like, picking on little things in the movie, I'm going to talk about, well, the overall pace of the movie. As you guys remember, I absolutely hated the way New Moon was so fast. I didn't put that in my review, but I put it in the last review for Breaking Dawn when I honestly said I hated it. My mom, I took her to see Breaking Dawn because I usually bring my sister, but she's in university, so I couldn't bring her. She didn't ask any questions. I was surprised, but at the end of the movie, she said, "That movie was so fast, it had absolutely no plot." I said, well, it kind of does have a plot, but it kind of doesn't. And then I realized, she's kind of right. I was so excited to watch the movie because I was like, this is the premiere, this is it. I have to take it in as much as I can, and I was, but I didn't realize how fast the movie was going. My mom did, though, because she hasn't read any of the Twilight books or anything, so she doesn't know what's going on. So, and then when I look back, I realized, yeah, they were kind of fast-paced. Like the Christmas scene. It wasn't a very big part in the book. I remember that scene, I remember. In the movie, they made it seem like it was going to be a big thing, but it wasn't. Like, first of all, there were pictures online that I saw, but whatever, it's because it's near Christmas, right? Edward did say this one line when Bella was looking out the window and she said, "The Volturi will be coming when the snow sticks on the ground," because that's what Alice said before she disappeared. And then he said, "We still have today." So I was like, oh, okay, this will be a really touching scene. No, it really wasn't. It was just, I don't know, I didn't really feel that sense of family. And yeah, it was just, like, the overall movie was really fast. Not as fast as New Moon, I would say, because New Moon, I was really picky on that. That part of Breaking Dawn doesn't really have a plot. Probably that's why I didn't pay much attention to it. It's just preparation. As you guys know, I can never do a review without picking on either actors or one certain actor, and as you guys know, I always talk about Kristen Stewart and how bad she is. I picked on Billy Berg, I picked on Boba Stewart. This time, I feel so bad for picking on this person because, as you guys know, I love him so much. You can guess who his name is, right? This guy. As you guys know, I'm totally in love with Jacob. That's no secret at all. I'm totally in love with Taylor. Problem was, with the whole Renesmee thing, yeah, Taylor looked like he cared as Jacob. Yeah, he is Taylor as Jacob. He wasn't Jacob in the movie. At least in the scenes with Renesmee most of the time. You guys remember in my review for part 1, I almost actually cried because I absolutely love the scene where Jacob kneeled down to Renesmee when he imprinted on her. And after that, I was so excited for the next one because I was just waiting for him to do something, not bowing down to her again or anything. Just imagine, that would be weird. Just to look at her in that special way that he did in part 1, he didn't do it this time. It didn't do him justice. Like, he may have looked at her in a certain way for a split second. After that, it was gone. And that did not impress me at all. I'm sorry, Taylor. I'm so sorry. Also, him saying Renesmee didn't exactly feel like music, so to speak, to his lips. Didn't feel like it even belonged there. He was acting as Jacob like he has for the previous movies. It would have sounded great. I don't think he was that much in character now. I don't know why. It just didn't sound very special to him. It sounded like it was just a line off a script. I say Renesmee nicely, I think, but because that's technically my name. I just didn't feel it in here. I know because she's a child. But the thing is, he's supposed to, like, worship her. And I didn't feel that. Taking care of her because he thought he was obligated to. But that's Taylor. Jacob needs to be near her. That's why he went through all that trouble. Taylor doesn't realize that. I'm sorry, Taylor. I'm so sorry. Why am I insulting you? Why? Make it up to you one day. I'm so sorry. Why? Why would you? In the end, of course, everyone lives happily ever after. Okay? You were warned. There were spoilers in this whole thing. Alice has a vision of Jacob and Renesmee living happily ever after. They're all like, oh yeah, we're so in love. Well, you can see the back of their heads, and they're all like, yeah, oh, Edward, yeah, we're so awesome. One little problem with that. Alice can't see werewolves. Alice, if you could see werewolves the entire time, let me ask you one thing. In New Moon, did you want Edward to die? If you did see werewolves, you probably would have seen, after Bella jumped off the cliff, Jacob saving her, therefore you wouldn't have told Rosalie, and therefore she wouldn't have told Edward, and therefore he wouldn't have gone to Volterra wanting to be killed. And then after that, you know, then Bella wouldn't have come to Volterra to come save him. The entire Volturi would have been completely out of their case if it wasn't for Alice. You can't see them like you're not supposed to. Why are you seeing them now? Melissa Rosenberg, really? Enough of this. Read the books for once. And if you're unsure, like sometimes I am, look at this magical book. Look, it's called The Twilight Saga, the Official Illustrated Guide. It's so magical. It includes everything about every single character. You know I can never do a review without picking on Kristen Stewart. Because you all know I impersonate her like 24/7 whenever I can. I even did a show actually impersonating her. Kristen's acting in this one wasn't bad. As Bella said, I was born to be a vampire. She did a pretty good job with her character. You know, like there were some times where she was still going like she did in Twilight, like at least a million times. When she was a little bit more direct, which I liked about her character. Snow White and the Huntsman, I heard she did a good job in that, so maybe that might have taught her something. I don't know, maybe not. I can't believe I'm complimenting you, but great job. For once. It's another Melissa Rosenberg kind of thing. Jacob's catchphrase is, through the entire series, I don't know about Twilight, but through the entire thing, it's, sure, sure. Jacob, help me with this car, sure, sure. Hey, help me clean Renesmee's diaper, sure, sure. You know, that kind of, that's his thing. He always says it, always, always, always. He never says it. I never mentioned this in my other reviews because I totally forgot about it, but since this is the last one, I figure I may as well say it. He never says sure, sure. I say sure, sure ever since Jacob started saying it in New Moon. Like, really? And you don't even put it in the friggin' movies? It's like taking out the lion and the lamb part. Another thing, I probably didn't catch this, I could be wrong about this, but they didn't say Nessie that often. Nessie is her nickname that Jacob specifically and specially gave to her. It's the name I specially gave to me. They all, like, I know he said it once, and like I said before, it didn't sound like music to his lips or anything like that, but, like, at least say it. You know, like, say it as much as you can. I don't care if Bella's gonna rip off your head. You don't care either, because she's not gonna hurt you. Because I remember at the end of the book, Bella started calling her Nessie after that. She's like, oh, my Nessie, yeah, we're safe again. And then Jay was all like, yeah, you called her Nessie. Her name is Nessie. Attempt that. I could be wrong with that. I could be. But they never said sure. Oh, I'm positive of that. Another thing. I put a little clip here. Notice that the ring is on Bella's left hand. This clip is from Eclipse. But why in hell is Kristen Stewart walking around with her ring on her right? It's her engagement ring, I get that, but I never really heard about putting it on the right hand. It just bugs me. Whenever I wear her ring, I always put it on the left. And her wedding ring is also here. But I don't think she's even wearing a wedding ring in the entire movie. Like, I saw Edward was, not her. And then I was thinking, oh, is this wedding, this simple little wedding ring, is this Edward's? It's hers, alright. Looking back on Breaking Dawn, I'll put the clip here. Oh. I don't know if that's a mistake or not. Like, seriously, reshoot if the friggin' ring is on the wrong side. Because people like me, we notice. We're watching you. When Bella becomes a vampire, she wakes up, Edward's like, oh, you need to go hunting. And she's like, yay, let's go. He's off running, you know, going to find Bambi. And she smells a mountaineer nearby. And then she smells his blood. And then she goes after him. And then she's so close to him. And then Edward gets to her and he's all like, don't do it. It's more assertive than that because I love Robert Pattinson. The thing is, the mountaineer was so close, he either has headphones or he's deaf. I didn't see headphones, so he must be deaf for not hearing Bella and Edward. I need to feed, and he's all like, you don't have to do this. I'll help you get out of here. I get Twilight isn't real, but at least be realistic. Twilight takes place in the real world. It's not Hogwarts. It doesn't take place in a magical fantasy land. Another thing, I thought, like, this isn't exactly that I didn't like it. It's just that I thought it was really unnecessary. I got it with Breaking Dawn Part 1, how graphic it was, like with blood squirting everywhere and them breaking the bed and all, because that's funny. But this one, it was graphic. They were ripping off Caius's jaw, like they were ripping it until like his entire top half was like gone. Like, and also with the scenes. Oh my god, Edward, you were really holding back. I'm sure he was. Trying to convert me to Team Edward, because I won't. Another thing was, like, it was really something that I thought was absolutely stupid. I was okay with Aro, the other movies. Like, I mentioned Aro being old and wise, evil, but he's like Alice's evil twin. At least that's how I see it. One scene that was in Breaking Dawn where he says like, I want to meet her. He goes to see Renesmee, and then he hears her heartbeat, and then he does this, he does this. Everyone in the theater was like, what? It's just one of those things where if I was on the set and I hear him go, I'd be like, yeah, that's funny, recast him, I'm out. And no, I wouldn't quit, because being in a Twilight movie would be like the best dream ever. Now I'm gonna think of Aro as a molester. Yeah, thanks a lot. Yeah, sure, you wanna meet my kid? Oh, you're gonna molest her first? I was really excited for Nalwell. Nalwell, for those of you who don't know, he pretty much saved Renesmee's life because he was living proof that half vampire, half human people can blend in with society. They mean absolutely no harm whatsoever, and they're totally awesome. He gave the clones hope, like, that Renesmee would not age for very long. Well, she'd age, but, like, she'd stop eventually at 7 years old. I thought it was 8, but I guess it's 7. Whatever they say. Melissa Rosenberg. As you see, like, I write about Nalwell, like, all the time in my fanfictions and stuff. So I was like, okay, you know what, like, I don't really have a visual. All I know is, he is, the color of Jacob's last name. Or at least that's what I assumed, because they said he had very, very dark, skin. What really bugged me, though, was in this, he looks native. He looks like he could have come off the Quileute res. He looked paler than the Quileutes. I'll admit, like, though, he's pretty. Got more of a visual with him. Write stories about him a bit more. More love triangles and stuff. Is what really I didn't like about it, though, was they didn't bring up the fact that there were more like Nawel. They were just his half-sisters. So that's why it pretty much creates another story, considering how Renesmee is probably the only other half-vampire female that he actually knows. For, as he has probably in the future, a dilemma to make. Therefore, Stephanie Meyer, there's your next book. Pretty much wrote it already. So it's kind of like there's this hole there. Okay, so what's Nawel's purpose? I know that he helped the Cullens, like, they were like, yay, so Renesmee will stop aging at the age of, like, 7. If they didn't want to complicate things. But, you know what, like, Pihastic of Nawel, Nessie is gonna have to choose between what feels like 2 Jacobs. Nessie, no, I want Guys, Nessie. I'm tired of this. From now on, I'm Switzerland, okay? Yes, I just pulled that on you. Another thing, I'm pretty sure that they took it out because it would complicate things, but it still really bugs me, like, now that I think about it. I didn't think about it during the movie, but I think about it now. They didn't mention that Jacob and his pack aren't actually werewolves. Yes, they're not actually werewolves. They're shapeshifters. There are actual werewolves out there with the whole full moon thing. I don't know about the silver bullets. There was one of the bits that they said they confirmed wasn't true. I think it was the full moon one that they said was true, though. I think. I could be wrong. I get that it may complicate things, but, like, still, you know, like, putting that in would tell a guy, like, who hates Twilight. Guys, I know some men who actually secretly love Twilight. And it's like, they're not actually werewolves. Oh, okay, so that's good. Okay, so they're actually werewolves out there. They're actually really awesome. Are there vampires that don't sparkle? No. Okay. Every time I tell people what I think about the movie, like, they're like, is it good? I tell them this. It's good, but there's one part where I wanted to kill myself for a second. There was a split second where I wish that Smosh made a Twilight pill. Well, he's not, I don't know if he's my friend or not anymore, but he kept telling me, they changed the ending of Breaking Dawn. And I said, no, they wouldn't. They can't. I've read about this. And then, when I was watching the movie, and I was like, this is good. And then I got to this one certain scene. There was a battle scene, and I was like, I saw Carlisle die, I was like, oh my, oh Seth, why? Leah, why? Jane, yes, she's dead. Oro, you're dead. I'm gonna kill this guy. Don't think I won't. Well, I actually won't, but don't think I will. I'm just kidding with you guys. Actually, this is a huge spoiler. It was all just a vision. I already knew that it was going to be a vision, but I totally forgot about it because as soon as they ripped off Carlisle's head, first I was stunned, and that image is still stuck in my brain. That will never go away for as long as I live. I remembered as soon as the battle began, I was like, oh yeah, I read about this. They filmed a battle scene as if what would have happened that Alice is having a vision about. But for some reason, it went on for like a really long time, and when I kept telling my mom, oh, that's not real. Oh my god, this is so stupid. Then she was like, if it's fake, why is it going for so long? Even though I knew it was fake. For those of them who didn't know it was fake, I wanted to stand up, grab like someone's popcorn, throw it at the screen, and be like, what the flabberjack? Trying to keep it kid friendly here, alright? I probably would have actually said the word if I was in the theater. But I was with my mother. Yeah, so that was like the one part where probably because I knew, like, I forgot for the split second that people were going to die and everything, I wanted to seriously take a knife, stab it in my chest, and die. Yeah, that was the absolute worst moment of my life. Ever. Now for the positive stuff. Yay! Finally, something good. First of all, for those of you who don't know, which probably is all of you unless you actually read my Twitter, I actually recently got into the show Lost. I'm like on the 6th season, so which means that's ending for me too soon, and most likely my dad would not let me watch it again. So yeah, it's not only the end of Twilight, but it's also the end of Lost for me. So I'm like, what am I gonna do now? But I did not realize that the girl who played Shannon in the show, she was only in the first and second season. She was in Breaking Dawn. I was like, that's Shannon. Why didn't I see her before? She plays Irina. It really made my night. Seeing her in something other than Lost. I was like, oh yeah, her brother's also a vampire in Vampire Diaries. Oh, that's not actually her brother. That's her brother in the show. Joe Anderson as well was in it. Like, I heard he was gonna be in it as Alistair. I actually imagined him as Garrett. Like, I always imagined him as Garrett, even before I heard he was gonna be in the movie. I thought he'd be a perfect Garrett, but he wasn't. One thing that I thought was a little weird that I think he tried to put on an accent the first time we see him. I know he has an actual accent, but it sounded like he was trying to put on an accent, and then for the rest of the scenes he was in, he didn't have that accent. So I was like, was I imagining things? Maybe I was. I don't know. But then again, this is the positive stuff. So Joe Anderson and Maggie Grace, you guys made my night. Thank you so much. As always, the Twilight movie was funny. I know I say this for every single one, but yes, this was funny, as always. Charlie is always funny. Trying to get rid of me? Well, it's working. Jacob, as always, is funny. She turned into an animal, too. Nah, she just wishes she were that awesome. Another thing that really made my night, arm wrestling match between Bella and Emmett. That was actually one of my absolute favorite scenes in Breaking Dawn. I wasn't sure if they were going to put it in the movie because it's not exactly relevant, but it's a good scene. Edward's a little bit more funny in this movie too, which I thought was really good, you know. Another thing was, what I really liked about this movie was that I totally forgot how awesome some of the other vampires were. For example, Ben. I remembered him so well. I just remember him being mentioned many, many times. I didn't really remember who Kate's power was, I think it was. The one with the electricity coming out of her hands. Yeah, like Ben controlling the elements. That's freaking awesome. What I wouldn't give for that power. This is my favorite part of pretty much the entire movie. And Bella lifts off her shield to let Edward read her mind. He's giving him, like, memories of when they met. I think it was when he proposed, their wedding, when he left, you know, like, just, like, when they had their first kiss. It was incredible. It really was. And I started actually to tear up because I was like, this is really the end, isn't it? Like, my God. I realized this, like, before I went into that premiere. I was like, this is the end. Like, this has been my life for, like, 5-6 years. Like, now it's like, gone. I'm still trying to get over. I'm tearing up a little bit here. I don't know if you can tell. Like, when you think about it, take away the love triangle and everything, Bella and Edward were just two people meeting in biology. You know? Like, okay, this really attractive guy, why in hell does he hate me so much? Then after that, he's trying to figure out everything he knows better, and then they fall in love, and despite everything, including him being a vampire, she wants to be with him. Like, every time I watch Twilight, I just remember why I fell in love with the saga in the first place. About vampires and werewolves or anything like that. It's about the love between them. That's what you realize through her memories. Through our memories. Words of wisdom for you guys. But then I also realized it was also kind of like my music video for The Last Thing. Guys, check it out over here. I'll see if I can put a little thing here. If I don't remember, remind me down below. I'll tell you guys, I almost cried making it because it has all the clips from every single Twilight movie, except for Breaking Dawn Part 2. It has a lot of memories, and it just has to do with the love between them. No vampires, no werewolves, no love triangle. It's just the love between them. Just two people who fell in love. The thing I really liked about this was the very ending of the movie. Did all the credits from the movie, like, from Breaking Dawn Part 2, like, who had, like, the least scenes. In this case, it was Nawal and his aunt, I believe. And from there, it didn't do just the credits for just that movie, which I absolutely loved. They did the credits for everything, including Brie. They actually mentioned her for once in their lives. The only way people are going to remember her is by seeing that little clip in the background. What I like about the credits, though, is that everyone knows that they recast Victoria. It was Rochelle Lefevre, if that's how you pronounce her last name, in Twilight and New Moon. They recasted her. I don't know which Victoria they showed, but they only showed one. They didn't say Victoria 1 or Victoria 2. I wouldn't have done that either, but I would have said like Victoria for this many movies and whoever that girl is. Also in the end, they showed the very last sentence of Breaking Dawn, and then we continued blissfully into this small but perfect piece of our forever. And they bolded forever. They did it for Jacob, but what they actually did was showed like parts in the book, and like they just highlight the name and then show the person and say this person as Jacob Black. I don't know if they had that one for Jacob. I'm pretty sure they should have, or they did. I don't know. Edward, where it said like I'm Edward Cullen, and they bolded that, showed Robert Pattinson, and I'm Bella Swan, and then Kristen Stewart. I was like, oh my gosh, this is it. But as they say, forever. This is gonna stick with me forever. I'll honestly tell you that. I'm pretty much the Alice of YouTube, so I can predict you trolls on my own videos. So if you guys do say Hunger Games is better, or Harry Potter's better, or anything like that, okay? I have nothing to say about Hunger Games because I haven't read the books, I haven't seen the movies. Funny, I was supposed to go see the movie, but I didn't. And Harry Potter, I do love Harry Potter, okay? I've loved it since the 3rd grade, which is when it came out. I remember watching it in theaters. I remember trying to imitate Hermione. This is what mostly speaks to me, though, guys. Like, it's my own thing. Like, I have people at my school being, oh, Breaking Dawn's a terrible movie. Like, you didn't even give it a chance. So it's not even worth it to argue with you. It's not worth it to argue with you about Twilight. Hating Twilight is like hating a part of me. Because Twilight is for me in so many ways. And I'm going to start crying now. All in all, as I say, it was a great movie except for that one little scene that even though I know it was not real, I just felt like it was a waste of 10 minutes of my life. It was like my nightmares going on screen. I'm never going to get that image out of my head of Carlisle dying and his neck being broken. It's embedded in my mind. Thanks a lot, Melissa Rosenberg. Everything's your fault from now on. It made my heart like stronger for Twilight. You know, like I really, I'm starting to listen to the scores more. I'm listening to the Chance and Band a lot more. Yes, because they're still my favorite band. I love you guys so much. You guys don't know, they're a Twilight-inspired band, and I always promote them, like, all the time. Keeping this channel because, as I said, Twilight's part of who I am, and any other channel name that I want to be by, because, you know, it's part of, even if I don't like it as much, it's still a part of my life, and, you know, I gotta accept that, you know? Yes, I'm still writing Twilight fanfiction, and I may or may stop at Forbidden Woods. Forbidden Woods, it's about me as Renesmee, as human. It's partially based off my life, and it's partially based off the Twilight books. It's pretty much rereading Twilight all over again, but different. Some people in the book are actually real people. I just changed their names. You guys want to check it out, or if you're not sure, one of the trailers is right here. There's a whole playlist of trailers if you guys want to see. And I'll put the link down below. I might do my last one, so make it count. Also, I'm going to be posting some more Twilight ending stuff. I'm going to be posting up like some covers of some songs that I always wanted to do that were Twilight related, such as like the Chance and Band stuff. I haven't done those in a while. Video doing a Twilight mashup kind of thing. I will tell you guys what 2 songs they are. I think I'm also posting up a video of all my Twilight shirts, because I have probably over 60 of them, including like my dress, my Bella jacket, which actually Bella wore in the movie. If you guys haven't seen my other reviews for the different Twilight movies, check them out. This video should be in a playlist, either that or they should be under the, I guess it would be on this side, the related box, and you should see it there. They are very detailed, and also they have spoilers, but as long as you've seen the movie, you should be fine. So I have videos of a few, like, I think one of them was 4 hours, one of them was 2 hours before it goes to the premiere, of me talking about the ending of Twilight, how I was introduced to the book, and me trying not to cry. So this is it. I love you guys so much, and don't forget, keep calm and sparkle on. Sure, right? I just think it's awesome. And enjoyed my review on the Twilight Saga Breaking Dawn Part 2.